Alright, welcome back to TKO Takes, and we have a very fun video here. So we just ranked all the major Spider-Man suits, made a tier list of that. Now it's time to rank every single Spider-Man movie, and not just Spider-Man, we also have the Sony spin-offs as well. So we're gonna have some fun talking about some of those movies. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one, and we'll definitely have to see where Spider-Man Brand New Day comes into this tier list. Maybe once I drop my review of that movie, whenever it comes out, I'll say where I'd rank it on this tier list. So let's go ahead and start things off with the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I like it an A right now. I think it's an easy A tier. It's a very good, just grounded Spider-Man film. I really love Tobey Maguire as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He's a great mix of both, especially as Peter Parker. It's very believable. I like the sequence where he got his... But also, can we just give these the Raimi movies some of their credit with the intros? The intro to this movie, I forgot how good it was. Like, I love the, hi, I'm Peter Parker, you know? I mean, Green Goblin was a great villain. Willem Dafoe's one of the best villain castings ever. He is such a great Green Goblin. Introduced to Harry as well. Got introduced to MJ, who became the villain in the third movie. But it's alright, you know, she was okay in this film. It's a very decent Spider-Man movie. It doesn't do anything crazy. It actually did quite a lot. First off, it had Peter have to, you know, have to go against one of his big mentors. It was him trying to go after MJ. It was him struggling trying to take care of Aunt May. He got his powers. He's dealing with that. This movie did a lot, and it didn't feel clustered at all. It was a very well-paced movie, and easily one of the best superhero movies ever made. I love the first Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, so I think it's an easy A tier. And if you watch the suit tier list, you obviously know that I love Tobey Maguire's suit. So make sure you go check that video in case you missed that. I ranked a bunch of Spider-Man suits. But yeah, we're gonna throw this movie in A tier. Next up, we have the first Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and I'm gonna throw in B tier. It's a decent movie. It's just different. I like that it's different. It's about well, it kind of makes the movie even better once you watch the second Spider-Verse movie, about how, like, you know, Miles wasn't supposed to become Spider-Man, but he's making it work, even though and we're about to find out if he even can make it work in a third movie. Beyond the Spider-Verse, but yeah, because of him, he kind of causes his Spider-Man die just by trying to help out, and because he was never meant to become Spider-Man, he got bit by a spider that wasn't from his world, and that caused him to try to help Peter Parker to fight against Kingpin, and that ultimately got his Peter Parker killed. And I like that. It's different. It's not like you know, he's replacing Peter Parker, and, you know, he thinks he's better than him. Kind of like what Marvel's been doing, was trying to replace some of the characters. The new characters think they're better than the predecessors, especially Ironheart, especially She-Hulk. They think they're better than who they're trying to replace, and I hate that. And it's why I like characters like Kate Bishop and Miles Morales, because they actually look up to who they're replacing, drew inspiration from them. So I do like that about Miles Morales Spider-Man. He has an insanely cool suit. It was cool seeing Kingpin be a true villain of a movie. I know he was he was one of the main villains in the Ben Affleck Daredevil, but, you know, he not major. I mean, he was the villain of this film, so that was pretty cool to see. And I just love how just goofy, comically huge he was. In this film, and we got to see a bunch of different Spider-Man before, you know, No Way Home came out. This one, especially the second movie, just give us so many different Spider-Man variants, and it's very cool. It's a very cool film, and it's the animation style. As someone who doesn't like watching like animated movies or shows and all that, this animation, it's so cool. And then just to have the movie open with approved by the Comic Code Authority, there's so much style and swagger with these Spider-Verse films, so it's an easy B tier for me. Close to A, but I can't put it on the same level as Tobey Maguire's, you know, first Spider-Man movie. I just can't. And then next up, we have Venom, and I think it's fine in C tier for now. I love dumb, fun movies, and this one is just that. It's a dumb, fun movie. Nothing offensive about it. And man, who knew going to this movie how funny Venom would be? Venom was the best part of the movie. He was the funniest character. And I also love, like, Tom Hardy's weird, like, New York character. Hunched over like this, and yeah. That's what Eddie Brock is in this film. It's a choice. But Venom carries the movie. As soon as Venom and Eddie start bantering, that's the film. Because I could care less about the wannabe Elon Musk in this movie. It's basically Venom that carries this film heavily. It's not the greatest film, but because of Venom, it becomes a dumb fun movie. And it's a C tier. It's not D. We'll see. I'll get to what's in D tier. You'll see that Venom is definitely better than those. But yeah, I gotta throw Venom in the C tier. Dumb fun movie. I think that's perfect for C tier. And next up, we have Spider-Man No Way Home. This is a very tough one. So I'm sure y'all have heard about like how like when you rewatch No Way Home, it gets worse, and that is true. But try watching it a third time, and I think it's better than watching it a second time. Because when you watch this film a second time, you're like, man, this film was actually kind of garbage, you know? And when you think about it. But when I watch it for a third time, I enjoyed it a lot more, and I can't say why. Because I actually hate like the plot of this movie. I hate that Spider-Man's trying to cure villains, even though when they're coming back to the exact moment they're about to die. What are they gonna say? Like, I'm good now, Spider-Man. Like, Electro's still gonna blow up. Doc Ock is still gonna drown. Lizard never died, so why was he brought in? Sandman never died. Why was he brought in while the others were pulled before they died? How has Tobey Maguire been working on a cure for Green Goblin, even though he's been dead for what 10 plus years in his universe at least? You know, there's some real pause in this movie. This movie needed some more work on the script, because I don't like the plot of it. I don't like how he's trying to cure the villains, even though it's not gonna work. Like if they actually showed exactly where they pulled them from and then it actually worked, perfectly fine. But we don't see the result of it. We don't see if those villains actually end up living, or they probably just end up dying, because that's just what makes sense. But some of the strongest points of this movie is actually seeing the villains interact in this film. Like seeing Electro, Lizard, and Doc Ock all just have a casual conversation was like really surreal. It's like, as a huge comic book fan, I'm like, this is so cool. Seeing, and then obviously seeing the people talk about, you know, the three Spider-Man interacting, but seeing all the villains talk while they're in their strange prison cells was a really really solid writing, and were quite funny as well. But then we obviously get all three Spider-Man working together, and I love what they did with Andrew in this movie. They gave him redemption by saving MJ when he couldn't save Gwen. Tobey Maguire tells him that he's amazing, you know, a nod to the Amazing Spider-Man. But and then Andrew saying that he really needed to hear that was also something very meta, because, you know, his films are crapped on. I know that like my age is like saying that Andrew Garfield is like the best Spider-Man. Maybe that's a debate for another video, but overall his movies are not well received. So that was definitely meta right there, him saying like I needed to hear that, because as a Spider-Man, like he's a good Spider-Man. So it sucked that you know, Sony was the one making the movies and making terrible decisions, because they had to rush to make another Spider-Man movie, because every 5 years they have to make one to keep the rights. So after Tobey Maguire's trilogy ended, they rushed to make the Amazing Spider-Man. And you know, I thought we'll get to his movies, but back to No Way Home. It's a great comic book movie. It really is. Seeing Doctor Strange be a decent part of it was really cool. It's just the plot's not the best. I think I'm gonna throw it ahead of Into the Spiderverse. It's close to A tier because of how cool it is. Just seeing Andrew and Tobey walk out of those portals, seeing them all take on the Sinister Six was really cool. But there's a lot wrong with the plot, so I'm gonna throw it in B tier. But it's a very good Spider-Man movie, and watch it a third time because it's not as bad as you remember. I was shocked myself, because I've always been a big believer in it's worse on the second watch. And next up we have Morbius. Yeah, it's going in D tier. It's not like a movie where it's like I'm dying watching this, so it's not in the F tier. But it's also not funny like Venom. It's truly like, it does like the big crime of cinema, and that's be boring and not funny. So it's a D tier movie. I quite like Jared Leto as Morbius. I think it's a decent casting. It's just the villain sucks. The whole dance scene was unbelievable. But it's a decent origin story. It's just, why was this movie made? It wasn't a great movie. It didn't set up anything. It didn't set up Morbius fighting Spider-Man, although the post-credit scene tried to. It brought in Michael Keaton. It brought in Michael Keaton from Strangest Spell or whatever, which doesn't make sense. Like, why was he thrown into another universe? Yeah, it's a D. I don't have to explain myself for this one. It's a D tier. It's a mid movie, but it's not funny like Venom to make it C tier. So I think I make sense here. I'm gonna throw Morbius in the D tier. Sony, oh my goodness. Next up, we have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2, and we're throwing it S tier. What a journey this movie is. If you haven't watched this movie in a long time, do it, please, because start of the movie, it's like Peter's trying to live both lives as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and it's just not working. Spider-Man is getting in the way of everything he wants. He causes him to lose his job, not be able to be with MJ, and he ultimately quits. He quits, and then everything starts going great for him. But there's deep down, he's not the type of person to just let things happen. He's letting things happen, Punisher style in the special, that one shot where it's just like it's zooming in on everything that's happening around him. People are getting mugged, and he's just ignoring it. That's kind of what happens, and he deep down, he feels like, I know I'm not doing the right thing. And then Aunt May is the one to bring him back, and I love Aunt May in these movies. I love Aunt May is one of the best characters in the Raimi films. She is a real Aunt May that brings out the best in Peter Parker. And she convinces him to come back as Spider-Man, and it's just a great redemption arc. He truly understands what it means to be Spider-Man. It's basically a symbol of hope. And that he finally confesses to Aunt May that he kind of brushed off what Uncle Ben said to him, that with great power comes great responsibility. And then he finally understands what that means. He knows it'd be a disservice if he didn't help people with his extraordinary abilities, and it's a really admirable movie. And Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is so good. He was fantastic in this film. He was fantastic as Dr. Otto Octavius, and then great as Dr. Octopus. He was able to show the Jekyll Hyde character very well. It's a fascinating Spider-Man movie. It's just about redemption, man. And yeah, I have to put it S tier. Depending on how the rest of this list goes, it may end up being the best Spider-Man movie of all time, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stays in S tier. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Go watch that film. Insanely good. Next up, we have Spider-Man Far From Home, the second Tom Holland movie. Mysterio was the main villain. I hate Mysterio in this movie. Why? So you want to become the world's next big hero and fake it all. But what happens when an actual threat comes? You're just going to lose everything you built. How did his assistant know that Tony Stark was going to hand the Tom Holland Spider-Man Edith? There's a lot of questions on this movie. I don't get the villain. And that's hard to rank a movie when you don't understand the villain. But, it was cool seeing Peter, try to take a decent break. He just wanted to take a couple days break from Spider-Man, but you just can't do that. And he learns that lesson in this movie. He gets the girl, so you're rooting for him and MJ to get together throughout the whole movie. So, that was cool to see. But yeah, it's just not a great Spider-Man movie, There's not a lot of memorable scenes from this, which is kind of disappointing. It has a great ending where it reveals his identity. That was really good. But yeah, it's just Peter, trying to have a trip in Europe, and then he's pulled back into action by Skrulls. Why did they make Fury and Maria Hill Skrulls in this movie? Why? Why? I don't know. It's a weird film. It's not memorable. There's a ton of scenes I remember from Spider-Verse. There's a ton of scenes from No Way Home. Obviously, there's a ton of memorable scenes from the train scene, Joey Diaz in Spider-Man 2. It's great. I just watched this film, and I can't tell you a whole lot about Far From Home. It's a pretty forgetful movie, so I'm gonna throw it at the top of C tier for now. It's better than Venom, but it's nowhere near B, A, or S right now. And next up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 1, Andrew Garfield's first movie. And I'm actually gonna throw in a B tier. I think it's better than the second movie. I think it's a decent Spider-Man movie. There's weird things about it, from keeping it from being in A tier. Why does Peter Parker have a skateboard? Why is he cool? He's shy and timid, but why is Peter Parker cool? I don't get that aspect about it. But man, Gwen and Peter Parker was a great combo for these movies. You are rooting for them to be together. But as we'll get into the second movie, these films are so depressing, too depressing for a Spider-Man movie. The ending is like, oh my gosh, like this is brutal. So I guess we'll talk about both films right now. We'll talk about the first one first, but I really dug the Lizard as a villain. He was a decent villain. Obviously, you know, he's gonna turn the whole world into Lizard, so you know that's interesting. But he's just a villain. He's just a decent villain. He's evil to be evil. Okay, and he had good intentions at first, but you know, then once he became evil, you know, then I need to take over the world and rid everyone of cancer and all that, and turn into lizards. And because of that, so he meant well. He just went about the wrong way. But I don't care, especially when we get to this movie. I care about Peter Parker's dad, but the action in the first one was really good. There's a lot of very cool sequences. I love the Spider-Man versus Lizard scene, and then the Stan Lee cameo was also a really good one. There's a ton of great action and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies. The canon event that we learned in the Spiderverse 2 movie, where you know Captain Stacy has to die. Why did Gwen have to die? Oh, it's a decent movie. Let's go ahead and talk about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. We're gonna throw in C tier for now. This movie, y'all, it's so damn depressing. So I'm trying to figure out what's the message of this movie. Is the message that Spider-Man should never let anyone close to him? I don't like that. Yeah, my cat doesn't like it too. I don't like that meaning. And that's, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but when I watched the second movie, I'm like, okay, so Spider-Man should never get close to anyone, and he should always be depressed because he can't get close to anyone, and it's like, I don't like the second movie. I really don't. It's better than Morbius, that's for sure. And it's better than Venom, and shit, maybe he's better than No Way Home, Far From Home. I think I'm gonna keep it just below Far From Home right now. I hate Electro. Once he gets his powers, he's cool, but cast Jamie Foxx to be a nerd? Why? Why? You know, so I didn't like Electro's character, and Harry, I say what you want about James Franco, he's a great Harry Osborn, and whoever played Harry in this movie was decent. He was decent, but once I see you have James Franco, it's like he did a very good job, and it just didn't match that level. I did like the moral question of like, should Spider-Man share his blood? Was decent, because depending on the person you ask, they might, you know, share their blood with a friend who was literally dying. But there's, you know, it probably was the right choice that he didn't do it, because he just saw the Lizard happen, you know. And Harry could have turned into the animated, you know, big ass goblin. So I did like that about it, but it's so damn depressing. And then the kill off Gwen, it's like, why? She was the only, like, love interest, like, I actually root for in this movie. I obviously hated Mary Jane Watson in the Sam Raimi movies. She's not the greatest of people. And then I think that Zendaya's what is her name? Michelle Jones or whatever. She doesn't mix well with Peter. If you watch No Way Home and you remember their phone conversation, I think MJ's like, you know, why do you even like me or something? It's like, oh, you know, you love sports. You know, he's like joking, saying, what does he actually like about her? Because she's just you know, edgy emo girl that, you know, it's like, there's no way her morals fit well with Peter. Talking about death and all that and being self-deprecating, it's like, I don't think that's Peter. Peter's gonna try to find, you know, his little church girl. You know, that seems like Peter to me. Gwen was such a good person, smart, and very helpful. Would care about Peter, was emotionally intelligent. I realized that, oh, her dad probably made him promise to not be with her. She was a great, you know, partner, and then they killed her, and it's like, I hate this movie. It's going in C tier. I'm gonna love Far From Home, because at least Far From Home, you know, maybe invest in, you know, MJ and Peter's relationship. They maybe want to be together. They took it away from me in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I hate that. And I definitely understand why Andrew's Peter in No Way Home said, you know, he started pulling his punches, because I would too, because there's nothing to live for in this universe. There's nothing to live for in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. It's just doom and gloom, and I hate that. But yeah, there's my soapbox on those movies. Next up, we have Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3. It's gonna go in C tier, and I think it's better than the Amazing it's better than Far From Home, that's for sure. Yeah, it's the worst of the Sam Raimi trilogy. It did too much. I didn't like the the Harry and MJ saga where Harry's finally real. Why is Harry hearing voices before he took the serum? If you remember the end of Spider-Man 2, he started getting the goblin voices. Like, how? He didn't take the serum yet. Obviously, when he takes the serum and he gets the voices, it makes sense. But he was hearing it at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. He didn't even take the serum. How does that make sense? Why does he become evil? So obviously the opening was so good. The opening fight scene between Tobey and James Franco's Harry Osborn was so good. I mean, he gets a temporary amnesia afterwards. I mean, they introduced Sandman, they introduced Venom, and they introduced Eddie Brock, who was just Justin Timberlake loser photographer, I guess. Obviously we get emo Peter Parker for a second. It's bad. Those things are bad. But there's still some great action scenes. The damn symbiote suit looks amazing. It's another redemption story for Peter. It was starting to get to his head. With the celebrity status of Spider-Man, and the symbiote just makes it even worse. And he kind of has to realize that he's changing as a person. He's harming MJ physically. Some of these movies, man, it's like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's too dark for me. And then MJ literally had like Harry Osborn does have superhuman hearing. Why didn't she tell Peter that what's going on? Why did she have to break up because Harry forced her to? She was right on the bridge next to the Peter. Why couldn't he just tell her, Harry's going insane right now. Can you go and fight him? He's right behind that tree over there. Can you just take him out so we don't have to deal with him, and you can propose to me? No, she just goes along with it. And it's like, he doesn't have superhuman hearing, as far as I know. So there's just a lot of questionable choices in the movie, but it's still a decent Spider-Man movie. It's just too much was going on. So it's gonna go in C tier for me. Next up, we have Kraven the Hunter, and I think it belongs in the same tier as Morbius. It's kind of a boring movie, but there's nothing offensive. There's some the opening action scene was pretty good, but let's get a rhino. That noise the rhino did. Oh my gosh, I was in shambles when I was watching out with my friends. One of my friends has one of the most diabolical laughs, and he picked that one out during that scene. And what were they doing? Why did they make this movie? Why did they make the rhino that? I don't know what else to say about this movie. They're trying to tease some sort of Oscorp where Rhino got his. At least I think Oscorp they're trying to set up where Rhino got his powers from, where Chameleon got his powers from. I don't care. Nothing's gonna be followed up. Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't a bad Kraven. Russell Crowe was written horribly in this movie. Don't be weak like mother. Don't be weak. She took on life. Don't be weak like mother. It was just comedy gold the way they wrote Russell Crowe, and what a waste of two very talented actors in this movie. It's D tier. It's boring. Is it better than Morbius? Yeah, we'll say it is. I guess. Next we have Spiderverse 2, and it's a pretty good film. No ending, which sucks. But this film, what this one did good is they expanded on the relationship between Miles Morales and his parents. They show how good of parents he has, and that someday he's gonna realize that he's got it good. And he shows that at the end, but it's in the wrong universe. It's not his actual parents. So that was a good lesson to learn that he's got it good, and that he probably can come out as Spider-Man to them, and they'll accept him. Spider-Gwen was featured a lot in this film. Yeah, she's fine. She's okay, I guess. And then Miguel O'Hara was a decent antagonist in this film, if you will. He pretty much was the villain, but he's actually doing the right thing when you really think about it. Doctor Strange was right, and Tom Holland's Peter Parker was in the wrong in No Way Home. So it was kind of cool to see that like bunch of Spider-Man were the villain of this movie, even though they're kind of doing the right thing. Miles is kind of the rebel in this movie. It was cool seeing a bunch of Spider-Man. But yeah, the thing I really dug about this film is it really expanded on, his relationship with his parents, which I dug. I think I'm gonna put it. I think I'll put it at the bottom of the B tier. Like, Amazing Spider-Man 1 is good. It's a good movie. Spider-Verse 1 is also really good. The order doesn't really matter here, to be quite honest. Next up, we have Venom 2. I'm just gonna put it in C tier. It's the same as Venom, except we got Carnage, which wasn't a very good Carnage. It's an hour-and-a-half long movie. It has a great post-credit scene that gets retconned. We'll talk about it right now. Venom: The Last Dance, I'm throwing an F. Oh, am I that crazy? No, I can't put it in F tier. We'll put it at the top of D tier. I hate Venom 3. First off, it retcons the post-credit scene of Venom 2. Why? It was trying to say that Goop left behind. Never happened. It was actually in Tom Hardy's universe that Goop was left in. There's no Goop in the MCU is what this film was trying to do. And then I liked how it tried to show that like Eddie kind of wants more in life. He shows that he's actually good with kids. He probably should look to start a family. He wants to, but it's hard when he has Venom. That's ultimately why he lose Venom to actually start his life. Now what he actually got from Venom, fun. I don't know what lessons Venom taught him about like humanity and all that. But Venom dying allowed him to maybe start a family one day. So that was a good part of the movie. But this film is so boring. It's so boring. I don't care about it was the police going after Venom, and then this big ass spider Null thing. Null was terrible. I knew what they were gonna do with Null, and they did it. And I hate that it was so predictable. I'm like, he's just too damn powerful to be in this movie, so I'm just gonna bench him, and he's gonna be in the background. He's gonna be a looming threat that never comes, and that's exactly what they did. And I hate that I predicted that. But it's just a foot chasing entire movie without a lot of actual action scenes. Venom was in this movie. He knew that once he came into form that the symbiote Null creature would go after him, and he did it anyways to dance with Chen. Why was she in Vegas? We don't know. And then they tried teasing us with the actor that played the Lizard. He was in this film, and obviously he's not playing the Lizard. So they're just trying to bait people. Like, F you, Sony. Like, scumbags. Because you knew damn well what you're doing. I didn't get fooled by it because I knew it was just going to be a bait and switch. That's exactly what it was. But for people who are actually curious about it, just a bait and switch them. F you, Sony. So my take on Venom 3. I don't know if that's controversial or not, but I thought it was the worst of the trilogy. It was just boring, and I don't care about the other symbiotes that they were trying to spin off in other TV shows. That it's never gonna happen. Spider-Noir is the best it's gonna get TV show wise for Sony, that's for sure. There's something good there. Next up, we have Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's better than Far From Home. I really dug Michael Keaton as Vulture, Adrian Toomes. I thought that was really good casting. He did a fantastic job. It's a decent story. It's about Spider-Man, who is already a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but he wants more. He wants to join the Avengers. And then he eventually learns that he's going to protect the little guy. He's not going to be an Avenger. So that was kind of a cool ending to it. Then he obviously becomes an Avenger once, he had a great line in Infinity War where it's like, Tony, how can I protect the neighborhood if the whole world's going to end? So that's one who'll actually become an Avenger, but he's going to stick to fighting for the little guy, fighting these street level guys, and I thought that was a good lesson learned at the end. The twist was good in this movie, where the Crush's dad was, Michael Keaton. I thought that was very clever. Good twist there. Yeah, I think it belongs in B tier. Is it better than The Amazing Spider-Man 1? I think it's going to be at the bottom of B tier. I think these are better films than it, for sure. I think Amazing Spider-Man 1's better. But not by much. I think they're like very close to the same level. But Spider-Man: Homecoming is a decent Spider-Man movie. And lastly, Madam Web is going to go in the F tier. How do you reuse a shot from the Sam Raimi movies? How do you ADR the entire movie? How do you have the worst dialogue ever? I mean, these don't feel like characters. They feel like ChatGPT wrote it. And this film might have been written even before ChatGPT was a thing, so it was just horrible. And Dakota Johnson is not the greatest of actresses. She doesn't have a lot of emotion, so to have her be the front lady was like, ugh. And then Adam Scott was there. It's just a terrible film. There's nothing good about this movie. Like, you know, there's redeeming things about, like, Venom 3. Like I said earlier, the action was good in Kraven. Action was decent in Morbius. Hello, Cat again. But there's nothing good about this film. It's terrible. Millions of dollars went into this. Every time I see a bad movie or a bad commercial on TV, I'm like, wow, millions of dollars went into that. And this film happened. Yeah. Y'all know, everyone's watched this movie and thought it was bad. I don't need to add anything. I have nothing to add to it. But yeah, that is my ranking of every single Spider-Man movie ever made, including the Sony spin-off movies. I think the best Spider-Man movie of all time was Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 2, and then I think the next best was his Spider-Man 1. And then there's some very good films in the middle here, especially No Way Home, Into the Spider-Verse, Across Spider-Verse, The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Spider-Man Homecoming. Then we have a couple decent ones. Sam Raimi 3, Far From Home, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, then the Venom movies. And Venom 3, I think, was bad. Kraven was bad. Morbius was bad. And unwatchable is Madam Web. So make sure to comment your favorite Spider-Man movies and anything I got, you thought I'm off on. I'd love to hear some of y'all's thoughts in the comments. And make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to a brand new day. I got a video dropping every single day until the movie comes out. So stay tuned for that. And God bless you all.